Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Lumineers Quest podcast, where we talk everything Lorcana. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jacob.
And thanks for coming on this journey with us. And oh, what a journey it is, because we're journeying to the Azurite Sea.
Wow. What's the sailing? We're sailing across the Azurite Sea.
Yeah, I mean, are we sailing? I mean, what's the actual card text?
I'm
sail the Azurite Sea.
We're
So I guess technically we're already there. We're already at the Azurite Sea, and we're sailing it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the card in front of me, which we're going to get to in a second. But
be prepared to sail.
No, see, you got to come up with a chapter 6 card. I mean, I do like that, but you know, we've got to be like
visions of the future.
We can't be a stubborn cabin boy in our sailing. We have to be a rigging specialist. I don't know. Those are the two Jim Hawkins cards that are also in my hands.
Thank you for that.
Which I figured you would like because
no, I love that. That was awesome.
Jim Hawkins card is bonkers.
I mean, that's exciting, right? We're getting way off topic.
It is for you. Yeah. So anyways, today is Azurite Sea release news / Continentals, like first actual set of news for Continentals that we have. Plus like kind of a little bit of a pricing guide for some of the Azurite Sea stuff, because it is the wild, wild west out here right now. Let me tell you, and I genuinely mean that. Like, it is the wild, wild west out here for Azurite Sea releases. And so kind of give some people some tips on like what to do. Obviously, if you're buying sealed stuff, go for it. That's great. You know, it's always available nowadays, which is fantastic. But from a singles / market perspective, there's quite a bit to talk about. So yeah, just going to be a, overall release weekend update / overall competitive scene update as well. And yeah, we're sailing.
We are sailing.
Sail.
And that's AWOL Nation.
Yeah, that's the meme going around. Like, we just have to join in on the meme.
Okay. I mean, we need a soundbite for that, but
I really should like add it to the soundboard,
right?
Man. Because you can use like under 6 seconds, and you can use it like royalty free. So like you could technically just have the sail.
I think we should do
I would abuse that though. That's
true.
I mean, I say that, but every time we finish recording, I'm like, yep, I didn't use the soundboard again.
But that one's really good though. There's a few.
Maybe I need to figure out how to.
We could add some Disney ones too.
Like some shimmering or.
Be prepared. Be prepared. Yeah, see? So there'd be some good ones.
Yeah, I should assume there would. But yeah, okay. So let's go. There's a ton of news. We could probably spend 3 hours talking about this, so we're gonna have to jump at it. But okay. So Azurite Sea, we're there. It's fun. Now we get to talk about card of the week from Azurite Sea, and I have one, and I kind of already mentioned it because
I know, yeah.
It's by far my favorite card currently.
That's awesome.
I mean, maybe that changes a little bit, but Jim Hawkins, rigging specialist, is a unit.
I've seen a little bit of it, and it's...
Okay, so there's also something that I didn't know it works this way, but it technically does, and I'm about to literally blow your mind, and I'm not even kidding you. Okay. I'm not exaggerating. So I have these cards in front of me, so Jay can see them, but I'll obviously talk through it. So let's just make them both. So both the Jim Hawkins steel shift line. So Jim Hawkins, the Stubborn Cabin Boys, the 2-cost inkable 0/4 stat line, quest for 1, and has the ability that says during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, this character gains Challenger +2 this turn. So theoretically, play him on turn 2, Fishbone on 3, ink, and he's a 4/4. Mm-hmm. The other option then is obviously you have the Jim Hawkins, the rigging specialist, the 5-cost uninkable 5/5 stat line, which is nutty. Shift 3. Quests for 2, and has the ability that says when you play this character, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character or location. So what if I told you that the Challenger ability bleeds through onto the shift? So if you ink, give him 4, shift him on top, your Jim Hawkins has Challenger +4 and 5 strength for a 9 total damage.
What?
Yes. Think about it though. Think about it. If you...
I guess it makes sense
because
though.
because it's this card. So this card, it's technically, again, like when you're shifting, it's that card. Like that card is what, and so since it's this card that has it, it's still the same card. It just has different abilities on top of it as well. And so you have a 9/4 for a cost of 3.
Has that been confirmed?
Yes.
Okay. Because if you shift a non-evasive onto an evasive shift target,
because evasive is not a like.
You have to be granting.
Yeah, because it's something that you're granted this turn. It's not some like like if you were to grant something evasive. So the perfect example, like the Tinkerbell from the first chapter, like I'm going to give this character evasive for this turn. If you give that character evasive and then shift on top of it, that character still has evasive.
Sure,
same thought process there. A 9/4 with a damage of 1 when it's dealt the ability, so you can deal 10 damage in one turn. Take out a McDuck Manor. No sweat.
I mean, yeah.
Take out a Queen's Castle. No sweat. Take out a library. See you later. Don't care anymore.
Big bodies, too.
Massive. This card has so many options. It's a shift 3 that doesn't get Medusa'd, that can sing swords, that can sing a whole new world, that can do all of the massive things that you want to do.
I mean, let's be honest, though. A shift 3/5/5 is
bonkers good, too. So anyways, this one is very, very, very much in my wheelhouse that I've been testing a lot these days. I am very much in love with Jim Hawkins.
The thing is, I don't think it works outside of Steel Sapphire. I mean, maybe it does, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a world where this could fit into like a Songs deck. I think the biggest downside to that is just being uninkable, and Songs is already so uninkable that probably just from that standpoint, but from like a body and ability standpoint, I think it probably does, because the biggest thing that deck has problems with, well, historic. I mean, it's very much been, evolved over the past month, I would say, and historically, it's very much been a not challengeable deck, and with Ursula's and Pete's and stuff, like it needs ways to be able to challenge, and so maybe Jim's that answer. But Jim Hawkins is the shift line, I guess, is my card of the week.
I like it
because 1, I knew that you love Jim, and 2, I knew I would blow your mind with that ability, and 3, it is proving to be a menace on the battlefield.
That's awesome. I mean, I thought if any of the characters were gonna take a win, it'd be John Silver this set, but Jim getting it is not bad.
Who would you rather have get it, Jim or John?
My favorite Disney character is John Silver. So
I forgot you're a villain sympathizer. So.
He's not a villain.
Yes, he is.
He's not a villain. He was, but he redeemed himself.
Debatable.
Isn't a redemption story the best?
Debatable though.
I think he redeemed himself.
Debatable. I mean, at what point can you be redeemed? Like, if Ursula turns around and I don't know, helps out Little Mermaid, then is she redeemable?
Saves Ariel's life.
Is that okay? Is that like Scar? If he decides to
she still has to pay for her actions. But if she's identified the wrongs in her ways.
Yeah, but if I don't know, I'm getting philosophical now for no reason. But yeah, card of the week, Jim Hawkins. I think that there's a lot of potential there. And I think that, the 5/5 stat line is just exactly where you want to be. I mean, I guess it maybe, I doubt it's a big enough threat where it brings back World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Maybe it does. And then it's a little bit of an issue, but I think in a more ice block heavy meta, that 5/5 stat line is just absolutely nutty.
I mean, it very well could be. I mean, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we should just talk about this weekend too. We didn't play any sealed events last time because we were at Disney getting the D23 sets, and now we're going to be able to. So do you have any strategies going into the sealed? Because I actually kind of do have some strategies this time.
I mean, my number one card I want to pull is Goofy, to be completely honest.
That's probably a pretty good one, I would imagine.
But how helpful is Ward, though? Is there any?
I was gonna say I don't think Ward really matters for sealed. I think it's mainly just high lore questing, overstated bodies.
Gantu.
Yeah, I would imagine Gantu's pretty good.
I mean, heck, this might be dope. The Jim Hawkins line.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe you can have it. Maybe you open enough baby gems where you are able to shift it. I just don't think.
Is it that bad playing it without shift and sealed though? Probably not.
No, I think it's still probably fine. Because a 2/4, if you're inking every turn, 2/4 is going to take out a couple things. I think Calhoun is going to be the biggest.
That's fair.
That's biggest really fair. Sealed winner. I also think the White Rose, the 3/3 get a lore when you play her.
That's fair.
Is also really big.
I like that.
The Diablo, the 0-1, just because, you know, you're going to get taken out for free, but you're going to get another card, which in sealed is usually one of the most important. And one of my other up-and-coming favorites, the new Pluto Bodyguard in steel, the 5/5 that goes awesome. Down to 1/5 when he has damage, kind of like the Lawrence-esque.
Yes, yeah.
But again, a 5/5 body, like he's going to trade with something, and then he's probably going to live through it. So, yeah, I think that, you know, last time I had a really bad taste in my mouth because the games that I lost, I had like, I don't remember the exact count. I think I had 13 characters with 2 lore or more, and like my opponent had like 28. And I'm like, cool. Like I just drew like awfully here. And so like, what am I supposed to do? And so maybe I can have a redemption arc in that my sealed journey.
Well, let me ask you this: what's our card draw looking like?
Oh, there isn't any.
There isn't any, right?
That's what I mean. In Steel, there just isn't any, and so that's why you got to go for the Calhouns, the Diablos, the things that are going to give you value.
I mean, Gogo's got to be busted, right?
I don't know because I mean, yeah, I would definitely play her, but I don't know how busted because I remember there was a big kerfuffle. Or maybe not. I think a lot of people figured it out very quickly. But initially, like last set, everybody's like Daisy Duck and sealed, and then very quickly we're like, well, I probably shouldn't be giving my opponent a bunch of cards in sealed. And so,
but there really isn't a downside to Go-Go, you know?
No, I just think that there's probably not. I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of opportunities for damage to stay on the board. You know, I just think in most cases, like characters are probably trading evenly, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just like. I think it's more so like them taking out your stuff, and then the following turn you go whatever live from them. Well, that's what I mean. Is how many? I guess there are a lot of occasions where you're not evenly trading. I was just thinking more times
that Jim
than
Hawkins.
Yeah, that Jim Hawkins is a liability for a go for sure.
The small one too.
Like, yeah, because they could have 3 damage on it for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of our the plans or the weekend is just normal sealed stuff.
But I haven't done that since set 2 for me. I haven't been to a sealed event since set 2.
That's right.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, honestly, really excited.
Okay. Well, I guess we kind of like wrapped up card and news there, huh?
Well, we got a little bit more to talk about, don't we? News wise?
Oh, I just mean like weekend, weekend news stuff.
I gotcha.
Okay, so yeah, like jumping into the actual news. So do you want to start with the EU Continental announcement stuff? I mean, I guess we do. Like that's the biggest announcement. It's the biggest if you're. News.
It's the biggest if you're a competitive Lorcana.
I think it's just fun in general. Like just all of the stuff surrounding the event too.
And that's fair. I mean, hopefully, even if you're not the biggest competitive player, you enjoy watching some of this and just the Lorcana vibes, you know?
I feel like I say this once a month, but if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably in tune with the scene well enough to want to, you know, watch the event or, you know, keep up with what's going on. And so there's a lot of, we'll start with like the side events because I didn't even tell you about any of this, but there's a lot of, you know, other side events and stuff going on too. But first off, the LCQs. So it's very interesting. You actually have 2 slots. So there's an AM slot and a PM slot, and you can compete in both. So I don't think we knew that before. So basically what it says is there will be 2 slots, 1 AM and 1 PM. Each slots will have 16 flights of 32 player single elimination tournaments.
The single elim, I saw that and I'm like,
that's crazy. Also, I guess it's worth throwing out there. I don't think you've listened to it, but Zan's last podcast, he said he's going to the EU LCQ.
Oh my gosh.
Which, to be honest, it's like, well, why? But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, then he could, you know, qualify for, you know, both Continentals and then have the opportunity to get to Worlds even more. And then secondarily, I'm sitting here thinking like, that's going to give him more experience than anybody else is going to have.
Yeah.
Going into the NA Continentals where, you know, he needs to like be on his best game. So I'm like, man, I wish I could have done that too.
Because there's nothing big competitive wise up until at least North American wise. Until Continentals.
There's always the big 10K.
No, for sure, but like widespread.
Yeah.
I mean,
in Atlanta, which I wanted to go to. I was like, all right, let's go. Got to go to Atlanta. I got to start getting some practice in. But then I looked and I was like, yeah, that's not possible, which of course is the case. But anyways, yeah. So so there's 32 people, 5 rounds. If you're the winner from that round, you qualify for the championship. If you come in second in your pod, you get invited to the Sunday Revival event, which I'll come back to in a second. If you come in third place, or you third or fourth place, you receive 3 Saturday, Sunday Turbo Zone vouchers. So again, another little like side event stuff that I'll get to in a second. And then if you lose in the first or second round, they have side events on Friday that you get moved into that you can then go do. So it's not just like you lose one, you're done. You actually do. They actually I think handle that very, very well where you have other options to do. So again, for those side events, if you lose in the first or second round, they're basically just core constructed and you get boosters for each match to win. So that's cool. For the second round, it's basically the same thing. If you get higher amounts of prize pack payouts for your wins because you won one round during your LCQ. And so they're like, we'll give you a little bit more prizing. And so you actually get, winner of each game gets 6 Azurite Sea booster packs.
Wow.
So that's, if you win both of your games, then you get 12 packs. That's a decent amount
nice,
there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Turbo Zone, this is the new side event place. And so, if you're an attendee, you get 2 vouchers to go do 2 things. And then again, if you make it to round 3 within your LCQ, you get vouchers as well. So within here, you get, there's Pack Rush, Core Constructed, and 4-player multiplayer pods.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool, right?
That's awesome.
And then if you go to any of these events, you get 2 boosters, which if you're doing your Pack Rush, those are the cards you play with. You get a non-foil promo card. You get 2 non-foil promo cards. And then if you win your pod, you get 2 additional or 4 additional boosters. And I'm saying promo cards because I'm getting to those in a minute. So I'm not spoiling all the fun just yet. And then lastly, the Sunday Revival event is really cool. So if you don't make day 2 from the main event, or you do well enough in your LCQ pod to get to the Revival event, then basically what it is an 80-player Sunday tournament with 7 rounds of Swiss, and you basically just have a massive prizing, upheaval. So if you have 3 points at the end of those 7 rounds, if you have 3 points, which I would imagine, you're going to tie or draw a couple things to get 3 points, then you get a Dragonfire promo, which I would imagine is the same one that they've been giving out at all the DLCs. 6+ points is another Dragonfire promo. 9+ points is 2 more Dragonfire promos. 12 points is Flotsam and Jetsam, which I would imagine is the promo that they were giving out the DLCs as well. 18 points is Kristoff's. 24 points is Aladdin. I don't know which one that Aladdin is.
What's the Kristoff?
That was the one from the Seattle DLC from last set. I don't know what the Aladdin one is.
I don't remember.
That might be a new one or just a really old one.
Is it the shift target from set 4? The shift one, the Floodborn? Was that a promo?
I don't think so. Okay. That's as good a guess as I have. Okay. It might be it might be from the new set, the new Floodborn shift target.
Maybe.
Or the new shift 2, give everything else 2 strength. 30 and 33+ points give you 2x non-foil Cinderellas. 36, 39 get you non-foil Rapunzels. 42, 45 gets you Cinderella playmats, and 49 gets you 2 Cinderella playmats. Wow. So again, if I would imagine, it doesn't say this specifically, but I would very much imagine those are additive, just like everything else. Where if you finish first in this, you're going to get 4 Cinderella playmats, a playset of Rapunzels, a playset of Cinderellas, a playset of Aladdins, a playset of Kristoffs, a playset of Dragonfires, and a playset of Flotsam and Jetsam. So you'll have just an ungodly amount of stuff still. So obviously it's not making it to day 2 and getting all of the stuff from the Continentals, the main event, but let's talk about the main event now.
The main event time.
Okay, so main event stuff. It's a 7-round Swiss, 2-game format. So I am a little, I'll get to why. It obviously stinks. The fun fact, I've only lost 1 round of Swiss over the last 3 DLCs.
Wow.
0-2 one time.
That's,
And so all that to say, it feels really bad though.
It feels bad.
It just, I was fighting for my life in Seattle, and I was like right on the bubble. And then in the game where you had to win both or lose, both get eliminated. I think I talked about that. My opponent went shift Diablo, shift Beast, Diablo Beast for his turns. And I was like, cool, I lose. Like, what am I supposed to do? And so I gave him the win. So I don't count that one. But yeah, it feels bad. And so 7 rounds against the top players where, you would want to be able to like find a good result. And it's not like there's 2,000 players and you're needing to, really cut it down. It's like, we've got the top of the top. Let's just, play and see who actually wins. Like, that's what I would think. But the math has been done. If you go 3-0-4, you qualify for day 2. So you win your first 3 rounds. GG, your day's over.
I mean,
that stinks. Like, there should not be a world where there's 7 rounds and after 3 of them, you're like, cool, I already know I'm good.
I think, that's fair, but I think that this is going to be the highest quality grouping of players that we've ever seen. Yep. I mean, to get a 2-0 victory on, say, a Zan, I
obviously I agree to some extent. I mean, if you're able to do that, but again, like, it just doesn't allow for any of the variance that comes with card games. If you draw bad one game and you have a good matchup, but you lose it anyways because you draw bad, then there's no coming back from that. It's you tie and you go on to the next round. Whereas if you're playing at a best of 3, then you draw bad one round. It's like, cool, that stinks. I know what I need to do for game 3, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just I don't know. I mean, I can see it both ways. I think for this setting specifically, you have to do best of 3. But again,
I would think so.
I'm not. I truly am. Like, I'm not a BO2 hater for the DLCs. I'm totally fine with that. Do they need more rounds? Sure. They definitely need more rounds for 2,000 players. And I think they've basically confirmed that they know that, because if there's 100 players and they're doing 7 rounds, then why on earth are they doing 9 rounds for 2,000 players? Like, that pretty much to me confirms, like, yeah, we know we need more rounds. And so again, BO2, fine. Give me BO2, just give me 12 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, because obviously you're losing a game time frame wise, but
the whole point of that is to say, like, more rounds means you can't duck out very early. And again, I would like it to where on this, like, Swiss rounds where you have to play 5. Like in the set champs, it's usually 5 rounds. You have to play 3 or 4 depending on the amount of players that there are. Mm-hmm. And that's I feel like you should have to continue to, like, earn it through those rounds. But anyways, that's. I digress on that. Sunday, it's single elimination, constructed best of 3 until finals, and the finals is best of 5, which we've never seen before either.
Wow.
Which again, I think is a little bit of like hey, we want the best players to, like, have more games to, like, show their skills.
Best of 5. I didn't. Wow, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Yep. So all of that being said, let's get to prizing. So right. Participation gets an invited to the ball full art enchanted.
That's really good.
It's really cool. It's really cool. So I will say, I saw a very that I kind of agreed with. I'm not like, yeah. I think this just would have been really cool is if they had done this to Worlds. If you gotten the invited to the ball for Worlds and they were customized with your name on them. I have shout out to Candio. He said that. And I was like, dang, that would be really cool.
I mean, they still might.
Like, yeah, it's very possible. But, well, I don't know, because I think that whole New World one is like the one that you get for going to Worlds. But yeah, invited to the ball for participation. So I am very fortunate enough to be able to get that one because I will be. And
you are invited to the ball.
Yeah, assuming that it's the same for NA Continentals, which I would imagine it usually is. So that's cool. Foil enchanted Elsa's Ice Palace.
And when do you get these? That's
oh, sorry. Yeah. So that's top 32. So that's, is that, so yeah, so that's top 32. So top 32 doesn't make day 2. Top 16 make day 2. So it's kind of like in that let it go type of range. Top 16 is foil extended alt art Cusco's Temperamental Emperor from set 1. So
I mean, I know someone who will be very happy with that, but
why Breezy as well as Michael.
True.
Michael, he texted me freaking out yesterday about that one. Cause yeah, that's a pretty cool one too. I mean, that's like a very iconic one in my eyes because that set one, like in set 1 days, if you've been playing that long, like he was a menace in set 1.
3 lore ward. That's all you needed.
Yeah. So you get a top 16 gets the Cusco enchanted. You also get a Baymax legendary foil playmat. So the legendary from Azurite Sea foil playmat. Crazy. And
which is a little bit of a tease.
Yeah, and just to throw it in there, you get 4 booster boxes of Azurite Sea as well. Oh. Yeah, just toss them in. Just toss them in. Top 8. Alt Art Baymax foil. So enchanted Baymax from the legendary this set. Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention that's your World's Invite. Yeah. So top 8. That's a little. I don't know what to expect. Couple other people I've talked to said like Magic does top 32 worlds, and so it's like not out of the ordinary. My assumption, I think I've said on the podcast before, was top 32. So like 16 from EU, 16 from NA would make it. Mm-hmm. So it's a little less than I thought. It makes it extremely exclusive. I would have just liked to see, a massive blowout at Worlds. I mean, I'm comparing it to Pokemon, which is a very different, system, for Pokemon, but it's just like such a massive, huge, long, cool, fun event. And so I would have liked to see some of that. I would imagine they're going to do other stuff at Worlds, some side events and things as well. But yeah, so I would have just liked to see a little bit bigger one, like participating or not, just, to have like more time to see all this stuff. But yeah, so top 8 is your World's Invite plus your Baymax Enchanted. Top 4 is another BLT. So, they're still handing out BLTs, which I don't have one yet. So I would not be mad about that.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
I would imagine like Zan, who's already won 2 of them, would be like, yeah, like give me something better now. But no, I think most people will still be very happy with that one. And then the finalists get a full set of Azurite Sea, which was, like historically given to the DLC winner. But this time the Continentals winner gets a play set of Azurite Sea. So Enchanteds and everything, you get 4 of it all.
That's nuts.
And then a championship trophy. And so it's really cool to like have all of these details now and have all of the breakdown of everything that's going to be included and just more details on like how the event's going to run. Cause I think all of the side events and like you being able to, go from your LCQ pod into some of those side events and win more prizes and go into like the Sunday event. If you don't qualify for day 2 on the main event, then there's just a lot of like cool little shifting around to like keep you busy and make sure you're having a good time the whole time. So yeah, super excited. It's definitely back to training season with all the Azurite Sea stuff coming out. And time to get to work because yeah, I want Baymax.
I mean, we're in the set now. This is the Continental set. I mean,
yeah, we've been waiting for this or I've been waiting for it since July at least because that's when I qualled, and so it's been just kind of continue to keep your skills sharp until that point, and now we're there. So very 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 interesting times for sure.
I mean, this is just going to be a special event, I think. Because again, it's in Disneyland.
It's the first one. Like I really don't have any, or I'm trying to not have expectations and trying to not put too much pressure on myself. Because I mean, again, these are the best, and it's very, going to be very, very hard to do it. And so I'm really trying to just, think about it from it. Like this is the first one there ever was, and I get to be a part of that. Like that is so special to me. And so I'm trying to like hang my hat on that. And just think that it's going to be, a really fun time. Going to have some family there with me, which is going to be great. Shout out Mo, the other local player that qualified as well. He's going to be there. And so I think like overall, it's just going to be a really fun environment. It's going to be great to be able to be a part of the first one. So yeah, just super excited. That's all the details. We don't have, like I said, anything specific about the NA Continentals yet, but they've done everything, in conjunction with each other this far. And so I don't see why they would, divvy it up between the 2 continents at this point. So yeah, any other final thoughts on that one? I think that pretty much covers everything.
I mean, it did seem somewhat late to reveal all of the promo stuff.
It definitely was late, but it came out on the day. It came out yesterday when Azurite Sea came out, so they clearly were waiting. But that being said, with all of the travel details and all of the other stuff involved with making this happen. I obviously would have liked to have it happen like a month ago.
Especially the EU one is before that.
It's 3 weeks. Yeah, it's literally 3 weeks.
I think that's something. I think timing of communication is something they're still working on.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, I think everybody was hammering for more details because, again, like in the EU, people from, I mean, I'm making this up, but I think there were some people from Italy that have, and some people from the UK that have qualified, and from some people from Spain that have qualified. And so, like, that's a lot harder to travel, and I think.
Especially this is like places where Disney parks are available, and those usually tend to be a little bit more on the pricey side. So I think, I think
you do get a 20% discount.
I mean, that's nice, but I mean, I think there needs to be a little bit more leniency there.
I agree. I think everybody's on that same page too. So, okay. So Azurite Sea release weekend again. We're talking about getting back to some of the more just overall topics of the set. And the first thing that comes to my mind is there seems to be a wild, wild west market out here right now. And I truly mean wild, wild west market. And so what I mean by that is there's some very, very sought after commons this set, which, I think we can probably go through every set and say like, there's a really strong comment, like Vision's last set. Vision's was incredible last set.
Yeah.
And if you go through some of the other sets, I'm actually going to do that real quick.
I mean, uncommon goat, right?
Yeah, like I think crab is common.
Okay. I think it's,
Let's rarity. Let's look at common for
the last set.
No, I'm going through them. I mean, I know Visions was for last set, but I'm just going for all of the different sets too. So like Sir Hiss is a common, which is real played. Robin Hood, Beloved Outlaw, the shift target from Shimmering Skies. Those are probably the two biggest ones there. Grammatala in Sapphire is a big one. So those aren't like crazy commons, but they've definitely been played quite significantly, I would say. If we go to like Rise of the Floodborn, did I skip chapter? I did skip chapter 4. Popsicle. I mean,
yeah.
Popsicle, Let the Storm Rage On, Crab, Hypnotize. Benja has been in and out of play. So there's a ton in Floodborn that were very much played. Let's go to Ursula's Return real quick and just look at commons. This is setting the ground. I promise you this is important, so stick with me here. Brawl, Magic Broom, Fortisphere, Chinpo, Ice Block.
There's a lot there.
Diablo, Shift Target. I mean, again, yeah, those are probably 5 or 6, like all very strongly played.
Oh, I just thought of one
commons.
I just thought of one in Shimmering Skies. Isn't Pete uncommon or common?
Pete's uncommon, yeah.
Okay.
In first chapter, Friends on the Other Side, Fire the Cannons, Sudden Chill, Simba Protective Cub, which I have a feeling is going to see a little bit of a resurgence this time. That's Develop fair. Your Brain is definitely still played pretty heavily. So all I'm trying to say is there's definitely a lot of commons that are important to the meta. However, there's 2 that really stick out this time. The Diablo from the new 1-cost Diablo and Amethyst, the Obedient Raven. That says whenever this character is banished, you may draw a card. That is currently going crazy. So I guess to set the context, I think the most expensive foil common is currently Popsicle. I think it's like around the $5-ish range, and it's obviously like a 4-of staple in every Sapphire deck. Diablo, the Obedient Raven, is currently a $12 common foil.
That's nuts.
Just utterly, crazy. I mean, and then you think that's nuts. Well, let's just talk about Sail.
We need the soundbite.
I know. It would have been way better to have right there. Sail the Azurite Sea, the 2-cost inkable action in Sapphire that says you may put an additional card from your hand into your Inkwell draw card. That is currently a $20 common foil. And yes, everybody wants it. Everybody, I think, has probably not unanimously, but very closely to unanimously said that that's the best card in the set. But still, I was like, I'll get some. I will say that, shout out Cody. I don't know if Cody listens weekly or not. I don't think he does. He went to Chaos on Wednesday, and they were opening to get ready to start publishing to TCG Player for Friday. They had 3 sales open, and he took them all. And I was like, you're not even going to play those. I was going to go to on Friday morning to like have the first dibs at it, but he like went before they were even available to be dibsed. So he cheated the system.
He cheated the system.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
right.
now I don't have my foil sales because I am not going to be spending $20 to $25 for them.
I have a feeling they will drop sometime soon.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, are they going to drop? Yes, of course. They're going to drop. Like, I mean, I opened one box and I got 3, I think, from it. No, I only got 2. I only got 2 from it.
2 non-foils.
Yeah, 2 non-foils. So, I mean, like, I'm going to be able to play with them, obviously. But, I mean, man, like, that's... I really could see them staying, like, in the Daisy range. You know, Daisy last set was... I mean, I know it's very different because it's, you know, super rare versus common. But, again, like, Sapphire is as important as ever in today's meta. And I think this makes Ruby Sapphire, like, 10 times more scary than it ever was.
That's fair.
And... it's a common, and it's everybody wants foiled now. I mean, I think, you know, again, like if you think of the top players that are going to a lot of these challenges, a lot of them are starting to, you know, pimp out their decks and run all the enchanteds and run the foils and everything. And so everybody's going to want the foils, me included. And yeah, now I've got to like wait to either try to get them from some packs or wait until they come down into a reasonable range, which and reasonable range in my book is, you know, under $10. And yeah, so there's just a lot of way to do. So again, back to the initial topic here, it's a wild, wild west out there. You know, there's a lot of good cards out there. The White Rose is relatively strong, I think, from what people are seeing. It's a common foil as well. It's like $3 or $4 currently. Calhoun, the steel rare, I think is like around $12 right now. So that's a little high still probably. The Genie Rabbit, I call him the Genie Rabbit. That's not his subtext. I don't know where mine went. I had one over here somewhere. The Genie Rabbit that, you know, is a 2/4 stat line that quests for 2 instead of 1, which is very uncommon in the Amethyst realm. He's also evasive, so he's a Jobule counter. He only draws 1 though because he doesn't draw when he gets bounced. But that one's like a $12, $14 rare currently. So if you're wanting just regular printings, you're probably fine. You know, like I'm sifting through the list right here on TCG Player, and most of them are very low, and you know, in the normal realm.
I mean, I'd also like to talk about legendary prices a little bit here too.
That's what that's actually what we're on the same wavelength here. That's literally where I was getting because, the regulars are very reasonable. And what I mean by that is the legendaries, there's not a $40 legendary currently.
Which is really nice.
Which is insane because there are really good legendaries. I think Baymax is a very solid. Oh, wow, these have come down a ton even since I like looked at them last night. I mean, last night Baymax was 20. He's currently 12. Yzma last night was 20. She's currently 11. Tiana's down to 10. Oswald down to 14. The 2 highest cost one currently are Maui Half Shark and Simba Pride Protector, $23, $21.
It's really nice. I mean, honestly though, like, I don't know if we've talked about this a little bit, but like overall, as like I'm saying like a draft class almost, but like this class of legendaries overall, extremely solid, like across the board. Especially
the longevity of it as things shift. I think some of these will, you know, be better, some of them may be worse.
Like the $1 Hades isn't a terrible card.
Yes,
I don't think so.
Yes, it is.
Is it bad? Bad?
Take it back. It is Gantu bad. Yes, it is.
It's Gantu bad.
It's Gantu bad. Yes, it is.
Explain.
In what world is it like in any way useful? I actually pulled one, and I'm gonna have to pull it up now because I don't remember all of the stuff off the top of my head. But there's just like there's so many more efficient ways to do what you're trying to do.
It's like it's a lot better than the worst legendaries of past sets.
No. It's that bad. So it's literally $1 right now, and it's a 5 cost uninkable. So you're paying 5 base cost. Okay, 5 base cost. It has the ability that says exert for 3 ink. Banish one of your characters. Banish chosen character. Just play Dragonfire. Just play Dragonfire. You're not paying 8 for it. You're not banishing one of your own characters. He quests for 1. Like if he quested for 7, like sure, maybe he's okay. He quests for 1. Why are you laughing so bad? Because you know I'm right now, and you're like, yeah, that's awful.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. That's really, really bad.
Oh man.
And the Hercules is the same. Don't even get me started on the Hercules either.
That's true. The Hercules.
The Hercules foil was shocking. Is kind of shocking. I actually got a
foil
Hades.
The art's incredible. The art is incredible.
The art is incredible. I'll give you that one. The foil. I got a foil Hades yesterday for like $3.99. I'm not even kidding. I'm like on my collector. I think I don't know if I've told you this or not. Or I definitely don't know if it's that on the podcast. But I'm like on my collector grind these days.
Collector era.
Yeah, and where I've like been going back and like collecting all the like the commons and uncommon foils that I've been missing, and I think I've fully finished all 408 of Into the Inklands.
That's awesome.
And I've got like 8 total between the first chapter and the Floodborn that I need to finish them. Wow. I mean, those 8 combined are like $450 probably, because Maleficent's Monstrous Dragon, Surfer Stitch, Rapunzel are all from all 3 chapter 1s I need, and there's one more I need from chapter 1. It doesn't matter, but anyway, so yes, I was like, it's currently sitting at $373 for a foil Hades. So no, it's that bad. It really is that bad. But the rest of them, like Maui Half Shark,
Zan's gonna play it.
Maui Half Shark will definitely be in and out of strength. Simba Pride Protector is insanely good. Oswald, there will be a day where Oswald is absolutely incredibly broken. I had a practice match and dude flipped a dime on 3, just happenstance, didn't like set up for it in any way, just got lucky, flipped a dime, and I was like, cool, you win. Yeah. Like not a lot I can do about that. Baymax, I think, is the same way. I'm very high on Baymax. I think he's pretty much insane. Given a correct or helpful meta. Yzma, I wasn't very high on at first, but Artifacts and Lorcana deck lists both are, and they're way smarter than I am, so I'm going to go with their opinion over mine. One of your favorites, John Silver. Again, I think the meta is way too fast currently.
I agree. I do.
But I think there's a world where he's good. Wreck-It Ralph, we talked about too. Wreck-It Ralph, see, I actually bought some foil Wreck-It Ralphs because they were, I think I got them for $13. They're currently $15, so that seems pretty reasonable.
And again, I love Wreck-It Ralph. Like that card is...
It's an insane card.
The value's awesome.
Jasmine Legendary, I think, is fine. I think there will be a world, like I've started to play around. Well, actually, I shouldn't get into too much into this because we're going to have this episode for next week, but what the meta is going to look like and some fun, options. But I think Jasmine kind of fits into there. So yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of cards that have a lot of potential. I didn't even talk about Tiana. Tiana, I think, has a lot of potential too, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so all of that to be said, if you're trying to get a legendary or you're trying to just fill out a normal set of cards, I think you're kind of just like ripe for the picking right now. I mean, I think things will probably continue to come down just a little bit over time until the first big tournament. And then once that first big tournament hits, whatever wins is going to explode. Yep. And so if there's something that you want, now's probably the time, or to be like very in tune with those tournaments so that you can get ahead of the curve a little bit. But like Maui Half Shark foil is currently lowest listed for $38, which is usually the lowest cost for the non-foil version of whatever legendary it is that
the highest, the best legendary.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good value, I would say, and overall is looking like a pretty solid financial set. But now we got to talk about Enchanteds, right?
I mean, yeah, we've discussed our thoughts on our feelings.
I still haven't seen one in person. I've seen some better pictures. There's a bunch of people that. We had a midnight release event locally. I told everyone I'm way too old for that now. I couldn't tell you the last time I did that. I did that a bunch back in the video game days. I did it for all the Halos. If you want some history on my
nerddom,
middle nerd life, I don't know. Did it for quite a few video games. Did it for quite a few other just like fun events and things. But yeah, that's way past my prime. So I was asleep at that midnight release. But I've seen a picture of the Basil. I've seen a picture of the Ralph. I've seen a picture of the Tiana. I've seen a picture of the Raya. The You Came Back, and I think Gadget.
Okay, wow.
And so there was a ton pulled. Oh, and Rafiki too, for sure. And so I still like, it's still very hard to gauge because they still look kind of bland. And again, I don't mean that like that's the photos. I don't necessarily mean the cards look bland, but it's just very hard to tell because I think a lot of the detail is in the foiling. Not in like the actual card itself, like you usually get in the past with just the art style of it.
Well, I'm gonna pull one in my sealed packs today, right? So I can.
No, I'm gonna pull one in my sealed packs today.
We say this, and Tyler is going.
No,
with us.
Devin's going to.
But I mean, Tyler's actually done this before.
So has Devin.
Okay.
Devin's done it twice, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Tyler pulled the Enchanted Cinderella instead too.
That is now a PSA 10. That is if you want a PSA 10 Cinderella, let us know because he's trying to get rid of it. Okay, so what do you think the most expensive legendary or most expensive enchanteds are currently? Give you a little quiz. So you've got, I'm just gonna like go around the list. You got Raya, Yzma,
does Maui have
Daisy.
No. Okay.
The red ones are the island I pulled from the sea, Raya and Tigger. Yellow is Tiana and Chippendale and the Speedway. Amethyst is the staff, Yzma and Rafiki. Green is You Came Back, Daisy and Basil. Red is, I already said red. Blue is Baymax, Gadget, and We Are Immortals. And Steel is Ralph, Captain Amelia, and Treasure Mountain.
I'm going to definitely say Tiana and Ralph.
You're right about one. So
I'm right about Tiana.
Yeah, I was going to say one, but if I say you're right about one, it's very obvious which one it is. So Tiana's actually the most expensive one. Currently. Okay. So give me a second one then.
Baymax.
Man, you're good.
Okay.
You're
wow.
good.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. Third one, I doubt you're going to get.
Third one. Gadget?
No.
Okay. Let's see here. Daisy?
Nope.
Tigger?
No. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I would have never guessed Tigger. I mean, I guess he's a classic character.
He's a classic character.
And then you get into, but we're not going to go through the whole list. And then you get into Ralph, Basil, Chippendale, Yzma, Daisy, We're Immortals, and then you get kind of into the nitty gritty of it. But what do you think the cost of Tiana is currently? So remember, like last set, Mufasa and Naveen, and God, I'm trying to remember which other one was really high up there. I know for Mufasa for sure, they were both like really, really high for a really long time.
I mean, I'm gonna say like 120 USD
for Tiana Enchanted one day after release.
I mean,
that would put everything else under that.
I don't know. That's just
215.
Okay.
Which again, I don't know if this is an art direction thing or just a playability thing, but everything seems to be very reasonable right now, and I would imagine the Enchanteds kind of plummet because half of them are already under $100, which I don't know that this for certain, but I feel like that's really low. I feel like it usually takes a week or two for them to get that low, but Tiana's 215, Baymax is 185, Tigger's 145, Ralph's 140, Basil's 140, Chippendale's 140, and then after that it like goes down to 100. It's Jeez. Like Yzma's 105. I mean, Daisy's 115. We Are Immortals 100, and then everything else is far under 100. And so, you know, this has very much turned into a meta of the Enchanteds being expensive based off of their playability, because I think the meta has started to shape up so strongly that people are playing their Enchanteds now and are buying Enchanteds. And the perfect example of that is Diablo going from 130 to 200 after Zan 1, and Bruno going from 75 to 175 after Zan 1. And so it's clear that people are buying Enchanteds to play them now because it's very much priced on the playability of them. I think the most playable ones are Raya. I really, really am high on that Raya card.
Okay, cool.
I like that one a lot, and I was testing around with it a little bit. I just don't know necessarily what build it fits best in, but I do like it a ton. I do like Ralph a ton too. We kind of talked about this before we started. I don't really know where it fits in today's meta, but I think it will find itself a home at some point.
I compared it to like Heroic Outlawish. Like, yeah, it just good value overall.
Very good, very strong, but you know, has to like. It's not an on-playability, and so it has to be like very strong synergy and the current meta needs. I also am like extremely high on You Came Back. I think You Came Back is nuts.
I mean, I think it is because, I mean, let's just say like the Gantu, for example.
Yep.
Just ready that up. Yeah, I mean,
Quest for 8. Just
right?
Easy. The one that I was playing around with, and I honestly, I'm usually not ahead of the curve, but I genuinely feel like I was a little bit ahead of the curve on this one, is You Came Back with the legendary Robin Hood Sharpshooter from last set. Quest, get an action, play it, ready him up, quest, get another action. Imagine you quest twice and find Pirate's Life both times and just get straight up 8 lore swing out of nowhere.
I mean, You Came Back with Sea Revolve is nuts too. I mean, if you want to go crazy, but
yeah, I've seen some decks on that one. I very much, I mean, had to. I'll talk about this a little bit in the next week's episode as well. But I kind of, had to very much narrow down my thought process on like what I want to play for the set because I need to like just start getting a lot of reps in. And so like the last 2 weeks, I guess, leading up to Azurite Sea, I was very much just like, I probably have 20 decks in Dreamborn right now, genuinely. And I was like, I can't just keep brewing new things. Like I have to actually figure out where we're going to go, but, and then start to try to perfect it. But, I felt like I was a little bit ahead of the curve on the sharpshooter one because right after I started playing that, the sharpshooter foils went from like 80 to 180.
Wow.
Like literally over a course of 3 days, and like all of the inventory was bought up.
The Enchanteds or foils?
The Enchanteds.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So again, people like banking on Robin Hood Sharpshooter being good, and it's crazy because that was the one of the two that I pulled from last set was Robin Hood Sharpshooter. So that's one of the ones I have. But yeah, I think that kind of covers it. So a lot of exciting stuff. I think it's a really good time. I think Azurite Sea seems to be in a pretty good place. I think there seems to be a lot of meta disruptors. I think there's a lot of potential for fun cards to be included in current decks. I think there's a lot of competitively extremely viable cards as well. And then again, the non-foil just base card prices on everything. The most expensive card currently is $23, and that's really, really nice. Good. And so if you're especially if you're going for your normal rares or your normal uncommons, commons, like just buy away. Everything's really good. I didn't even plug TCG Player at this time at the beginning, and this is the best time to do it. So shameless plug. If you want to help support the podcast, use our TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. But that's it for today, I think.
All right.
You got any final comments?
No, honestly, I'm really positive about it. Like, I think just, especially for players that don't need the foils on Enchanted or everything, like just a $23 top legendary, like
a lot of fun cards too.
A lot of fun cards. A lot.
All right, everyone. We will catch you next week where, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about our meta predictions for the set. So
let's do it.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.